Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. The meeting is called to order. I kindly ask our city clerk to please take the roll call.
Bruno?
Here.
Burkhart? Here. Ruby?
Here.
Caven?
Here.
Kilberg? Here. Kasserag?
Here.
Maladra?
Here.
Marks?
Here.
Meyer?
Here.
Swanson?
Here. A full house this evening. I would like to invite our new friend and colleague, Matt Busing, to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I like those shoes. Thank you, sir. Before we jump into business tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there's sadly two reasons to invite you to join me in a moment of silence. The first, of course, is the tragedy that befell our friends and neighbors in Highland Park yesterday. As all of you know, there are now 7 pronounced dead, some 30 injured. Murder charges were brought to the gentleman who perpetrated this act, and I'm glad to see that. In conversations with mayors in the area, as all of us know, several made the decision to cancel their 4th of July celebrations and did so under, I thought was extraordinary circumstances. And for those who chose to move forward and for those who chose to cancel, that decision was theirs alone. I could not imagine having to make such a decision, but I know that they too were struggling. Nancy Rodering, the mayor of Highland Park, is an extraordinary leader, a good friend of mine. If you know anything about Highland Park, you know that it is a quiet, extraordinarily successful community, population of about 31,000, and I know that they are beyond reeling what has occurred. And of course, we lost a good friend, Sam Hill, last night. Our former colleague and friend, Mr. Hill, passed away. Mr. Hill, as you know, served on the City Council from 2001 to 2013. Sam struggled valiantly and I think gracefully with Alzheimer's. His wife, Carolyn, is without a doubt a heroine for her extraordinary love and patience and kindness to Sam. Sam's daughter, Jennifer, Sam's son, Jeff, their respective families, and a score of grandkids as well. We send our love and our thoughts to their family for their loss, and we feel that loss as well. So if we could have a moment of silence for our friends in Highland Park, their families who have suffered loss of because of the tragedy, and of course to the Hills as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our first order of business, folks, is item 3A, to consider mayor's appointment of Lisa Goodenough to the Strategic Plan Advisory Committee. All of you received an email from me over the weekend regarding Lisa's extraordinary talents and her desire to serve. And the committee interviewed the candidates who had expressed interest, and the committee chose overwhelmingly Lisa as the candidate to advance. Lisa could not be here tonight. She's actually traveling, but I would encourage you to support and vote in the affirmative if there's a motion to do so. Swanson and Mayor, I believe. And all in favor of appointing Lisa to the Strategic Plan Advisory Committee, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. And now we have the fun of introducing our newest teammate, Matt Busing. Matt, come on up, man. Assistant Planner, Matt Busing.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Is today day 1?
No, today is the start of week 3.
Holy mother of...
Yeah.
So where are they hiding you down there, man?
Right up at the front, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's you, huh?
Yeah, right in the little
Wow.
cubicle there.
Cool. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hired on June 20th. Man.
Yeah. Yes.
Born and raised in Hoffman Estates.
Yeah.
What high school?
Fremd.
Fremd. No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Says here you did your undergrad at Calvin College. For those of you who don't know, where's Calvin College?
That's up in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yes, it is. Is it right next door to Grand Valley State? Or
It's
is
pretty
it-
close. Grand
pretty-
Valley's kind of more downtown, but
Okay.
yeah.
East, is it? Okay. Studied urban planning at the University of Illinois as well.
Yep.
Wow. Now, are you in the throes of that, or did you already?
So previously I was working with another government, kind of in the zoning department, but yeah.
Is that the Arlington County?
Yeah, Arlington. Yep.
Arlington County in beautiful Virginia?
Yeah.
So what the heck made you go out to Virginia?
That was just a kind of a decision my wife and I made.
that right?
Yeah, she's actually from Grand Rapids,
Oh,
and we
okay.
kind of decided after getting married to go somewhere new.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where the jobs were, so we ended up out there. We're out there for a couple of years, and then decided to move back by family out here.
So the principal reason for moving back was to hang out with those you know, the family?
Yeah, basically.
that right?
Especially after COVID, we were kind of a
Oh,
little
yeah.
sad to not see everyone for a couple of years, so it's been nice to be back in the area.
And your family's still in Hoffman Estates?
Yeah.
That's cool. Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so all my family's kind of in the general area. My brother's in Woodridge, my sister's in the city, and then my younger brother's in Hoffman, and my parents are in Hoffman.
Nice, man. Any other planners in the city, in the family, rather?
No, I think I'm the only one that I know of.
Why the heck did you choose this field?
Yeah, it was, I kind of went into college originally thinking I was going to go into architecture, and then I started studying sociology, and then kind of when you combine both of those, it ends up kind of leading you right to planning, and that's where I ended up, yeah.
So is planning more sociology than architecture, or is it?
It's a combination. It's definitely a little more probably sociology.
Now, this is pretty cool. I played D3 tennis at Calvin and love all things tennis.
Yes, sir, yes.
Well, how fast is your serve?
It was actually pretty fast. It was probably close to 120 is probably how fast I could get it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
So-
know if I ever actually got it up there, but yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Based on the travails we saw at the recent tournament, where two of the players were fined because they behaved in a certain way,
Yeah.
do you feel those were fair fines?
Yeah, probably.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy Connors would have been fined $5 million.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't know who it is? Yes, he does. You know. You know who Jimmy Connors is, right?
Connors, McEnroe, I'm sure they all would
Yeah,
have
there you
been.
go. Exactly. Yeah. So, and always a love of tennis?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Family played?
Yeah, my mom was a big tennis player. She got me kind of into it, so from a young age.
You still play?
I try to get out there. I honestly haven't played probably in a while, but yeah, when I try to get out there when I can.
And I think people underestimate the impressive nature of D3, generally anyways. But I had a buddy at Augustana College who
Oh,
was a
sure.
tennis player.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating world.
Yeah. That's where my mom actually played.
At Augie?
Yeah, at Huggy. Yeah.
Okay, here comes the question. Would you mind sharing with me when your mom graduated?
That I have no idea.
So you're close. That's good. Well, you and I want to find this out. 'cause-
Yeah. I can get that information.
And I need to know her maiden name as
Yeah.
well.
I can find that info for
What
you.
is her maiden name?
Her maiden name is Jimenez.
This could be trouble. No, I'm just kidding. That's cool, man. That's a small world.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite tennis player now?
It's got to be Rafael Nadal.
Who?
Nadal.
Familiar?
No, not at all.
He represents who?
He's from Spain.
Spain, yeah. He's a good guy.
He's a pretty good guy.
Are you a golfer too?
I'm not a golfer actually.
So a lot of tennis people are good golfers though.
Yeah, it's definitely a common sport to play.
Does your wife play tennis?
No, she does not.
Why do you laugh?
Well, because we've gone out to the court.
You know, this is being televised. You know that, right?
She knows.
Oh, she knows? And how did you meet
We met at school at Calvin actually.
at
Yeah,
Calvin?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And she's satisfied living here in the Chicagoland area?
I think she's enjoying it. Yeah.
That's good. What else should we know about you? Other than you're the guy at the front desk?
Yeah, if I'm there, if no one
Behind
else
the
is there.
behind it around the corner.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you excited about having Stephanie's office when we move you over there?
You know, hey, I wouldn't say no.
Stephanie's a hell of a tennis player.
Oh, really?
Stephanie used to volley with Arthur Ashe. Do you remember that name?
I do know who Arthur Ashe is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. One of the best, man. So the floor is open for any council members who wish to have a conversation with or ask Matt any questions. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're delighted to have you, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So
definitely happy to be here.
when's the baptism by fire? The first Planning and Zoning Commission? Are you going to participate, or are you going to?
I'm definitely going to be there.
Okay.
If I can, yeah, and just kind of observe and see what's going on. I went to the historic preservation meeting last week,
Okay,
so that was good to kind of
good.
get that. Yeah,
Well, we're very honored that you chose Geneva.
yeah, I'm definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you all.
And you're free to sneak out if you need to, man.
Doing a task.
Number 4, folks, amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments this evening? Number 5 is the omnibus agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are considered to be routine and can be considered and voted upon with one motion. Is there a motion? Mr. Kosarog makes that motion, and seconded by Mr. Marks. Any questions or comments regarding that which is contained in the omnibus agenda? Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready, please take the roll.
Kosarog,
Aye.
Maladra,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor. Aye. Swanson,
Aye.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burghardt,
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Caven,
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
The omnibus agenda has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent. We move to number 9, which is Zippo. We move to number 10, municipal bills for payment. We kindly ask our clerk to read the bills in their aggregate for our consideration.
Right. The total of the bills are $2,783,681.56.
Mayor, I move that we approve and pay the bills as read. The individual items that add up to that amount can be found in tonight's packet on the city council on the city website.
Mr. Bruno makes the motion to pay the bills as presented. These bills are available for review on the city's website and in the council members' packet. Is there a second to Mr. Bruno's motion? Seconded by Mr. Kosarog. Any questions? Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burghardt. Ruby,
Aye.
Caven,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kosarog, Maladra,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
The bills have been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent. We move to item 12, presentation of ordinances, resolutions, petitions, and bids. Item 12A is to consider approval of ordinance number 2022-30, amending Title IV, Business and License Regulations, Chapter 2, Liquor Control, Section 4-2-13, License Fees and Number, adding one Class B3 liquor license for Bash Burger and Sushi House located at 124 West State Street.
So
Is there a
moved.
motion? Motion by, is that Bruno and Swanson? Ms. Dawkins?
Sure. So as stated, an application for a Class B3, which is restaurants with cocktail lounge liquor license, has been submitted by Bash 2 LLC. The police department has completed all necessary investigations, and the Liquor Commission recommends approval. If approved this evening, the license will be issued upon approval of occupancy. The applicant was not able to be here tonight because it is his wife's birthday, so
Exactly.
decided he needed to be there.
Heck of a gift. Any questions for Ms. Dawkins? Ms. Ruby?
I'm just curious, do we have any updates on when they may expect to open?
As I understand it, I think the last big thing they need to do is get their water connected, which is scheduled to be July 11th that week.
Okay.
They have to bore under, I believe, State Street, so weather permitting, that's when the work is scheduled to begin, and I don't know how long that takes, but
Okay.
probably not too long.
All right, great, thank you.
Anyone else? We have a motion, we have a second. Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready, please take the roll.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burghardt,
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Caven,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kosarog,
Aye.
Maladra,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 12A has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent. Item 12B, consider approval of ordinance number 2022-31, amending Title IV, Business and License Regulations, Chapter 2, Liquor Control, Section 4-2-13, License Fees and Number, adding one Class D as in David 8 liquor license for Settlers Hill Golf Course at 919 East Fabian Parkway. Is there a motion? Motion by Mr. Kilberg, seconded by Ms. Mayer. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so again, an application for a Class D8, which is strictly for the Kane County Forest Preserve. Liquor license has been submitted by Gulf Visions Management, Inc., doing business as Settlers Hill Golf Course. The clubhouse closed in 2021, and license was surrendered due to reconstruction of the course. If approved, a new liquor license would be issued after the county health and safety inspections are completed. The liquor commissioner recommends approval, and I believe we have 10 miles here. Is that correct? No? Okay, nobody's present for this one either. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer those.
Any questions or comments from the dais? Mr. Kosrog.
Thanks. Excuse me. Same question as Alderman Ruby about Bash for Settlers Hill. Any?
I have literally zero
nothing
information.
on
But
that.
I do believe that they want to open this season, so that's why they're getting their license.
Okay. Well,
I-
that's something.
I've heard that they're going to open later this month. Yeah.
Anyone else? We have a motion by Kilberg, a second by Mayer, and we kindly ask our clerk to please take the roll call.
Kilberg? Aye. Kasserag?
Aye.
Maladra?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Swanson?
Aye.
Bruno?
Aye.
Burkhart?
Aye.
Ruby?
Aye.
Caven?
Aye.
Item 12B has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. Item 12C is to consider approval of resolution number 2022-58, authorizing acceptance of bid from Incline Construction in the amount of $37,460 for emergency repair of the police department roof structure. Is there a motion? Mr. Marks makes that motion,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bruno. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so in April, we were replacing a garage door opener in the police department when the ceiling began to sag. Upon closer examination, it showed that the entire roof structure had dropped with notable concerns on the support beams. A structural engineer was contacted to evaluate the building and determined that the safety of the area needed to be, determined the safety of the ceiling needed to be fixed. So among the initial recommendations was to have the affected roof structure shored into place to ensure there would be no further collapse. And then they also completed an analysis of the problem and drafted a structural fix to return the area back to normal. A public bid was issued for the repair and 2 companies submitted bids. The low bid was from Incline at a cost of $37,460. And we do have Deputy Chief Frieders here this evening who can answer any specific questions regarding this project.
From the dais, any questions for either the city administrator or Deputy Chief Frieders? Ms. Ruby.
Thank you. I'm just curious, Stephanie, you mentioned the structural engineer, that's an additional, that was a separate cost from.
Yes, that was a cost that came within my authority to approve. So Rimpey Sharp came in and evaluated. We did some temporary measures, and then this is a more longer-term measure. I will
Okay.
never say the word, that starts with a P.
I'm just curious, do you know ballpark what the structural engineer cost was?
Do you remember?
I believe it was $6,800, somewhere in that
Yeah.
ballpark.
Okay.
For their work. But
Okay.
they did quite a bit of work, particularly in not only evaluating the repair, but then facilitating the entire bid process and creating the spec for that.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Kosarog.
So we were repairing the overhead door facing 31.
Correct.
What's right inside that door? What was that risk with the possible roof collapsing?
I don't know if I could answer that. I'm not an engineer, but I know I can describe the area as a critical part of our infrastructure, that a failure in that area would be catastrophic for our operations. You could evaluate your building and say, if this part of my building fell off, I'd be okay with it. That's not what this is. It's a really critical part of our facility. So the repair of it is of an essence for us.
Absolutely. As we're evaluating options there as we go into the future, are we keeping track of repairs and at some point be able to refer to that total number?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Mayor?
Are we going to do a structural review of the building to make sure there's no other areas that are deteriorated?
At this point, that was not in the plans, but certainly if the council would like us to do so, we can, but we believe it's isolated to this area. So,
We feel pretty comfortable that it's limited in its scope to the one particular garage area based on a number of contractors looking at it as well as the engineer themselves. We think we understand the why and how it happened and why it's limited simply to that one area. So it doesn't seem to be deflecting or creating any other issues in the structure that we've been able to locate. So they're comfortable right now with the plan as we have it and repairing that specific area only.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from Mr. Kilberg?
If I understand correctly, this was an addition at one time in the history of the building?
No, this is the section of the building that dates back to the 1950s. So
Okay.
when you look at the plaque on the Route 31 side, it was dedicated in 1953, I believe, as the fire station. So that building has remained relatively unchanged to the structure itself throughout its history, minus a few incidents, you could say, that happened and repairs that have been done over time with incidents where the fire truck might run into the wall.
Okay.
Not throwing the firemen under the bus.
Always throw the firefighters under the bus when they,
It's always the fireman's fault.
That was when it was an all-volunteer fire department.
It was in the old days. Yep, for sure.
those were horses back then, weren't they?
The horse buggy probably hit it. So it's hard to really put your finger on exactly the why or the how. But again, we can feel pretty comfortable that it's isolated just to that one area.
It's a pretty good indicator that maybe that's a facility as we look at planning for the future that it may need to be addressed, so.
It's for sure, you could describe it as showing its age across the entire spectrum of the building, ranging from the 50s to the early 1915. It's really getting pretty old.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We have a motion by, time out. Who's the motion?
Alderman Marks.
Mr. Marks, seconded by Mr. Bruno, I believe.
Yes.
I invite the city clerk to please take the roll call on this matter.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Swanson?
Aye.
Bruno?
Aye.
Burkhart?
Aye.
Ruby?
Aye.
Caven?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maladra?
Aye.
The motion is passed with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. We jump to item,
Thank you.
thank you, Deputy Chief. Forgive me, folks, I'm. Item 12D, as in David, consider approval of resolution number 2022-59, authorizing emergency repair to community warning siren number 6 with Braniff Communications Incorporated in the amount of $21,520. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bruno makes the motion and Mr. Marks makes the second. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so community warning siren number 6, which is at Caneville Road and Stonewood Glen Circle, failed and needs to be replaced. The system being replaced is over 23 years old and has failed due to age and normal wear and tear. The failed siren is being replaced with the current Geneva Community Alert System standard. There's only one quote presented for this purchase, as the Federal Signal maintains the exclusive distribution territories for their warning and mass notification products. The new system will be installed and maintained by our maintenance service provider, Braniff Communications, from Crestwood, Illinois, and we do have Chief Antonori with us this evening.
Questions or comments for Chief Antonori? Mr. Bruno.
Thank you, Mayor. And this would be a mundane question for Chief Antonori. I presume we find this on that first Tuesday of the month, and do we just send warm bodies out to each siren when we do that testing?
No,
So-
actually, this morning we had our test, 10 o'clock in the morning, and the telemetry of each siren reports back whether it's activated,
Oh,
whether it's
okay.
turning, and it's actually got a microphone in it, whether it's projecting any sound.
Oh.
So on the June test, number 6 failed to activate. They came out, went up top, found it broken badly and beyond repair, and that's where we are today.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
And thanks for answering questions earlier.
Sure.
Anyone else? Mr. Kosorog?
So where, is that warning system duplicated somehow in the meantime? Or is that siren
That's a dead spot
efficient?
right now.
It is,
Yeah, that's the importance of the emergency repairs, because
for sure.
the sirens do carry and they do cross over areas. And one thing to remember, they're outdoor warning sirens only, that you can't really, you're not supposed to depend on it here inside. But with it out, I'm sure you can hear other sirens in the community, but it's not going to penetrate to inside the homes in that area at this point in time.
I'm sorry if this was in the packet, I might have missed it. How quickly do we anticipate the repair?
We're gonna, if successful vote, we would order it tomorrow. They're quoting a 6 to 8 week lead time for parts, but we're hopeful that that can be trimmed down quite a bit.
Okay.
Once we get the order in place and we get in the queue, and our service providers ready and able to, with the equipment, to install it as soon as it comes in.
If we could just, if it's in our ward, and Alderman Marks and I, if we could just ask to be maybe notified when it's completed,
Certainly, we'll let you know.
that'd be great, just rest assured.
No, not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Mayor?
How many times have we had to replace one of these? Is this pretty unusual?
It's unusual, although age is caught up with us. The Averill Road siren in 2020 was hit by lightning, and we replaced half of the operational units. And then in 2022, earlier this year, the rotator on top died, so we replaced that. And the last time sirens were replaced were in 2005, 2006 with the current design. And some of these sirens are from the older regime that are failing now. We believe that the promised length of time for the Federal Signal product is about 40 years. The older product, and I apologize of updated information from when I answered the thing, these older sirens are a different product. They're not lasting near as long as the 40 years. So we expect the Federal Signal to be 2045 for the original installations, and then 40 years from this point forward. So it is rare. We have one more left in this older model, and so we'll be keeping an eye on it. And we have a preventive maintenance contract every year, and they come and inspect each. So if we do see some problems, we'll get them taken care of as soon as possible.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we should order an extra one, but it sounds like there's only one left, so maybe we do put it in the budget and get it replaced?
Certainly take a look at that. We haven't had our yearly inspection either. It's the one at James and Second. We'll have it take a look at that and see if we can preemptively look at that for you.
So we wouldn't hear a Senate.
What?
We're here at, close to James and
You'll
Second.
probably hear the one. There's a couple more in
Yeah.
this west side here, so.
It's not
I'll let you know if something hits right now, so,
Thank you.
sure.
Anyone else from the dais? We have a motion. We have a second. Invite the clerk to please take the roll call.
Bruno?
Aye.
Burghardt?
Aye.
Ruby?
Aye.
Caven?
Aye.
Kilbert?
Aye.
Kossarog?
Aye.
Maladra?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Swanson?
Aye.
Item 12D has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. Item 12E, consider approval of resolution number 2022-60, authorizing the execution of temporary construction license agreements with the Union Pacific Railroad Company. Motion by Mayor, seconded by Kossarog. Ms. Dawkins?
Okay, so back in May 2019, the City Council approved the execution of 3 temporary construction license agreements with the Union Pacific Railroad Company relating to their third mainline railroad track project through the City of Geneva. In order to complete the project, the UP required the use of certain real estate owned by the city to engage in construction and related activities. The temporary construction licenses allowed the UP to have access on, over, and across the legally described areas based on the terms and conditions expressly set forth in the license agreements. 2 of the 3 agreements were for a 3-year period and have since expired under the terms of those agreements. The UP anticipates construction to commence on the third mainline track sometime this year, and as such, they need to execute 2 new temporary construction license agreements. The city was previously compensated approximately $200,000 for those agreements and will be compensated an additional $220,500 upon execution of the new construction license agreements. One agreement is for the commuter overflow parking lot, and the other is for a small strip adjacent to the Park District parking lot at Sunset. I will note that the UP is going to be here at our next City Council meeting on the 18th to provide us with a project update and a timeline for construction. When the packet went out, construction was anticipated to be starting this month. The latest I've heard is that might be pushed back to October, but again, until we hear it directly from the UP, I don't want to speculate, but they will be here on the 18th. We have, in the meantime, gone ahead and closed off the commuter overflow lot. We were only having 5 or 6 cars parked there anyhow, and that is where they're going to start staging their construction equipment. So assuming the council approves this temporary construction license, then that can proceed. So if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Questions for Ms. Dawkins? Mr. Bruno?
Thank you, Mayor. Stephanie, so if I read this right, some of these agreements we were compensated, they never utilized them, so it's just money in our pocket.
That is correct.
Thank you.
That's the headline. Money
Hey, I know. Thanks.
Now we can get that siren, chief. Anyone else? We have a motion by Mayor, a second by Kosarog on item 12E. I invite our city clerk to please take the roll call.
Mayor?
Aye.
Swanson?
Aye.
Bruno?
Aye.
Burghart?
Aye.
Ruby?
Aye.
Caven?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kosarog?
Aye.
Maladra?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Item 12E has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. Item 12F, consider approval of resolution number 2022-61, authorizing execution of fiscal year 2022 and 2023 budget amendment number 1 as presented in your packet. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Ooh, we'll give this one to Kosarog, the second by Mayor, and Ms. Dawkins, the floor is yours.
Okay, if it pleases the chair, I will do F and G together since they're all budget amendments.
F and G or F and G?
F and
Did you think you heard that too? Okay.
Okay.
Record show that all,
We have young,
the record
we have
show
young
that all,
people in the audience. so
Miss
could we-
that Miss Ruby, I know that, but this is part of the thrill of being here. Isn't that right? What grade are you in, sir?
8, going into 9.
Freshman.
Okay.
Any comments on that outburst by Miss Ruby? Oh, you're sorry.
Okay, so agenda item F is a budget amendment for fiscal year '23 for TRICOM relating to the completion of a water service connection line. The TRICOM Board of Directors have approved the same resolution, but the city is the official legal entity for their budget, so it requires approval by you all as well. Agenda item G is a budget amendment for fiscal year '22 for the tourism, SSA number 1, SSA number 16, which is Fisher Farms, and SSA number 32, which is on Brentwood's Pond, refuse funds, and TRICOM. The funds are provided through appropriate fund balance, and the details of those amendments were contained in the packet for this evening's meeting. Questions on either of these items may be directed to Director Cruz, who is with us this evening.
The floor is open for questions for Director Cruz. Mr. Swanson?
Thank you. This is for Rita. With respect to item G, we have a lot, that's the our funds.
Thank you.
Not TRICOM. We have a lot of funds out there, yet we're only changing the budget for some of them. So what was the criteria to make the change?
So the criteria is
You grant legal authority when you pass the budget, and our expenditures went over that legal authority, so I'm coming back to you to ask for the increase, so we are not above our legal authority in expenditures.
Okay, so all of these were over budget, if you will? Okay. And then second question, on the tourism fund, we have an agreement with the chamber to give them a certain percentage of the tourism fund.
Yes.
Yet the budget was significantly less than what we thought the revenues would be. So question is, why was that?
So we had some discussions at strategic plan about maybe looking at that formula, but that did not happen. So we had budgeted based on earlier discussions, and again, the money's in the fund balance, so ultimately, they did receive their full 3/5.
Thank you. That's all.
Anyone else? Mr. Kilberg?
That, the size of the expenditure with TRICOM, that was a technology upgrade, wasn't it?
Which one? 22 or 23? Sorry, there's two. TRICOM
okay.
is in both.
The largest
Referencing.
one. And I don't have the
Say
that document.
the one for the current fiscal year is for the water service.
Yeah.
The one for last fiscal year
Is CAD maintenance and other
is
capital
the
projects,
technology.
which were, like you said, directly funded by ETSB. But again, they did not realize they were going to get this money when they did their budget.
Okay, so
and
it's
it's all being
timing.
recovered.
Okay.
Oh, yes. They had
Okay.
no idea that they were going to receive the money.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? We have a motion on item 12F. The motion's by Kosarog, the second's by Mayor. If there's no other questions, we'll take the roll. Ms. Clerk?
Kosarog,
Aye.
Maladra,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor, Swanson,
Aye.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Caven,
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Item 12F has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 members of the council absent. Item 12G, as stated earlier, is related. Consider approval of resolution number 2022-62, authorizing execution of fiscal year 2021-2022 budget amendment number 2, as presented in your packet. Ms. Dawkins has provided that summary. Is there anything you'd like to add to that? Is there a motion to approve item 12G? Motion by Mr. Marks. Second. What do you think, Madam Clerk?
Oh, I would give it to Alderman Burkhart.
Ms. Burkhart, congratulations. Any questions or comments that have not yet been answered or addressed? Ms. Clerk, whenever you're ready, please take the roll.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor. Aye. Swanson,
Aye.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burkhart,
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Caven,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kosarog.
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Item 12G has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, 0 absent. We're at the public comment new business section of the agenda. For public comment, is there anyone, first of all, joining us online? Anyone here in the audience wish to address the council regarding anything? How about you, sir? No questions about what you witnessed tonight?
Not really.
We were hopeful for a debate.
Well, name a topic.
Come back for side yard fences.
Yeah. What school are you going to next year?
Probably HCA in Elgin.
And HCA is, forgive me, I don't know that, but,
Harvest Christian Academy.
far out, man.
Yep.
So how's your summer treating you?
Pretty good. It's gone by fast.
Except for tonight?
Yep.
Anyone else? Any new business from the council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session on the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, which is captured under 5 Illinois compiled statutes 120, Section 2, subsection C-3. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Mayor,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Marks. A roll call to go into closed session is in order whenever the clerk is ready.
Mayor. Aye. Swanson,
Aye.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burkhart,
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Caven,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kosarog,
Aye.
Maladra,
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
We have an affirmative vote with 10 voting yes, 0 voting no. All members of the council were present for that vote. In just a moment, we'll transition to the closed session. We ask those who are not part of the closed session to please go enjoy your evening. And there's no action being taken tonight either, folks, okay? Anyone opposed? We are back in open session, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything, whoops, got that?
No, I got it. That down.
We need a motion to return to open session? No, we already had that. Doing it again? Okay, Marks, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Caven. All in favor of returning to open session, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are back in open session. Is there anything remaining left or wish to be shared in this council meeting? If not, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Motion by Kosarog. All in favor of the adjournment, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Microphones are off.
Thank you.